Franz Kafka is widely considered one of the most influential literary figures of the modern era. His writing is famously dark, disorienting, and surreal, so much so that anything resembling it is now described as Kafkaesque. To fully grasp his style and what defines Kafkaesque, it helps to first explore Kafka's early life. Born in Prague in 1883, Kafka was the child of Hermann and Julie Kafka. His father, Hermann, was a self-made, driven businessman who climbed the social ladder from working-class roots through sheer determination and a dominating personality. He married a well-educated woman and secured a place in the upper middle class. Naturally, Hermann had high expectations for his children, hoping they'd reflect his own ideals. Franz, however, did not meet those expectations. From birth, Franz was frail, nervous, and often ill, traits he never outgrew. Through no fault of his own, he became a major disappointment to his father, who emotionally took out his frustrations on Franz in an attempt to reshape him into someone he himself could never be. During his youth, Kafka turned to writing as a way to process his growing sense of anxiety, guilt, and self-contempt. However, his father strongly discouraged this path and pushed him towards studying law instead, setting strict limits on his future. While at university pursuing law, Kafka never abandoned writing. It was there he met Max Brod, one of his few close friends and a fellow writer. Brod would later persuade Kafka to publish his first 3 collections. Unfortunately, they sold poorly and attracted little attention. After graduating, Kafka took a job in a law office and later joined an insurance company. There, he endured long hours, unpaid overtime, mountains of paperwork, and the frustrations of convoluted bureaucratic systems, all of which left him deeply unhappy. Despite the demands of his job, Kafka continued to write in his limited spare time. During this period, he created some of his most well-known works, The Trial, The Castle, and America. However, Kafka made no effort to publish these stories and left many incomplete, convinced they weren't good enough. He spent the rest of his short life working at the insurance company and writing when possible. In 1924, he died from tuberculosis at the age of 41. Kafka never published another piece after his initial attempts and died thinking his writing lacked value. On his deathbed, he even asked Max Brod to destroy all of his unpublished manuscripts. Brod refused. Today, nearly a century later, we're still talking about Kafka. After his death, Brod spent a year organizing and publishing Kafka's manuscripts. Over the next decade, Kafka rose to prominence as one of the 20th century's key literary and philosophical minds. One of history's most important writers lived his life believing his work unworthy, his manuscripts stashed away, unrecognized. In the eyes of his father, he remained a failure. In the eyes of history, he is extraordinary. It raises a difficult question. How many people like Kafka have lived and died never knowing their true potential, restricted, silenced, or steered away from what they might have become? How many voices have we lost that could have reshaped the world? How many never find out who they really are until after they're gone? Thankfully for everyone except Kafka, his work survived. A whole genre was later shaped in his name. Kafkaesque. While the term often refers to the overwhelming complexity and impersonality of bureaucratic systems, such as those found in capitalism, law, and government, it goes deeper than that. Kafkaesque isn't just about what systems are, but how people react to them and what these reactions signify. In his novel The Trial, the main character, Joseph K., is arrested one morning without explanation. Throughout his legal ordeal, no one tells him why he's on trial, and the system he's trapped in is absurdly chaotic. By the end, K is convicted without ever knowing what he's accused of. In the Metamorphosis, another iconic work, Gregor, Samsa wakes up one day transformed into an insect, again without reason. His first concern, going to work and supporting his demanding family. But being a bug, he obviously can't. His inability to meet expectations causes him deep shame and alienation. In both cases, the characters face irrational circumstances. There's no logic, no clear path, and no real chance of winning. The heart of Kafka's storytelling lies in this confrontation with absurdity. His characters try to make sense of an incomprehensible world, only to find that their reasoning fails. The Kafkaesque experience is marked by a hopeless battle against meaninglessness, where understanding and success are unattainable, yet the characters still try. One interpretation is that Kafka presents a metaphor for the human condition, our deep longing to resolve existential struggles like guilt, anxiety, and suffering, paired with the reality that we can't control or even grasp their origins. Yet despite all this, Kafka's characters continue fighting, at least for a while. They seek answers, they attempt to escape, they strive to understand. But in the end, it's futile. Kafka might be hinting that this struggle, the attempt to make peace with the absurd, is both essential and paradoxical. As thinking beings, we seek meaning, but in doing so, we often reinforce the very problems we wish to solve. Perhaps, in some way, we need the struggle. Of course, this is only one lens through which to view his work. Ultimately, Kafka's stories are open to countless interpretations because they are purposefully vague, dreamlike, and inexplicable. Maybe they tell us not to take our suffering too seriously. Maybe they insist we must struggle, even in futility. Or perhaps they suggest we can never really know what life means. The truth is, only Kafka knew the full meaning behind his writing. And, perhaps, not even he did. What remains certain is Kafka's lasting impact on literature, philosophy, and human thought. His work has helped readers feel seen in their own moments of confusion and isolation, moments that feel Kafkaesque. His personal story isn't rare. Many face cruel upbringings, physical and mental limitations, or systems that crush individuality. Many die without realizing their gifts. Many have felt trapped in a soulless machine or burdened by a nameless anxiety. At some point, most of us have lived something Kafkaesque. Kafka's genius lies not in capturing something rare, but in expressing something deeply familiar in an unforgettable way. He articulated feelings and experiences that often go unnamed but are widely shared. Author Anne Rice once credited Kafka with inspiring her creative approach. Don't bend, don't water it down, don't try to make it logical, don't edit your own soul according to the fashion. Rather, follow your most intense obsessions mercilessly. Kafka didn't offer comforting illusions. He faced darkness directly. By distorting reality to reflect his own emotional truth, he created a space where others could do the same. In a letter, Kafka once wrote, "I think we ought to read only the kind of books that wound or stab us. If the book we're reading doesn't wake us up with a blow to the head, what are we reading for?" He may never have stated it outright, but Kafka's legacy reminds us that, in the face of absurdity, we don't want to give up. We want to go on. We want to push against the odds, forge meaning, and connect through honesty, no matter how painful that honesty may be.